There's some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Week 9, the FMA GT3 Challenge brings us to the soggy Silverstone circuit in the UK. Should be an interesting one here tonight. Bunch of rain through practice. Looks like the sun has come out here in qualifying to throw another wrench in the driver's strategy here this evening. Welcome in, this is Racer Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. In the booth with me, Richard Swindells, who's been here for every single FMA GT3 broadcast that we've covered here on Racers Nexus. So he's kind of like the furniture around here. Welcome in, Rich. Welcome to soggy Silverstone.
Yeah, a lot of alliteration there, Rob. You sure broke out the vocabulary, and welcome back. Nice to have you back here. As always, running production and commentary. It's been a few weeks, and it's always good to be working with you.
It has been a few weeks. Let's take a look and see where you guys have been while I've been away. We're in week 9, which is May 11th here at Silverstone, sponsored by Alpha Reinforcing Services. We'll get to a little bit about them later on. Next week we head to Portimao, Circuit del Algarve, one of my favorite tracks. Again, followed up with another one of my favorite tracks, Long Beach. So a couple of great ones back to back. Barcelona, I'm kind of impartial to, but that's
I like that one too, though.
It's okay in open wheel cars, a little tricky in the GT3 machinery, but it's a double points night race sponsored by Anthony Barranco. So that one's going to be interesting to end the season up. But speaking of season, let's take a look at our driver points coming in this one. In the pro category, Brock Morris is going to come in leading this one. A little bit of a gap developing over Marshall Crocker Jr. in second place, and Alex Jacobson in third. Over in Pro-Am, Fernando Rosario looking comfortable up there with a 30-point lead over Anthony Barranco, and then Matt Mars another 24 points back of him in third. And rounding out the AM field, Dustin Wells looks like he's continued his dominant performance this season. Rich leading the way in AM with Alex Berger and Cody Deek in second and third places. And then we got the teams championship too as well. How's that looking over there, Rich?
Yeah, the teams championships, it's real tight. We've got a Threshold Motorsports, very slim, a 6-point lead over Iron Horse Motorsports, who have only a 7-point lead over FR Racing. Admin advantage, those are all the league admins on their own team. They're sitting in a distant fourth. Just one thing to note, Rob. All those points for the individual drivers, I'm pretty sure drop weeks have not been accounted for. So things are a lot tighter than they may appear.
So you're saying it's kind of like in the mirror on the passenger side of the car where objects may be closer than they appear in the mirror? That's what you're getting at?
I think Marshall Crocker Jr. and Brock Morris are a lot closer in points if we include drop weeks than that leaderboard may suggest, is what I'm saying. Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We got some drivers sharing their webcams here this evening. 3 of them. We got Sasha Andrick on top. That is Tony Sorrentino, don't call me Anthony, in the middle, and Matt Mars, as usual, with the skeleton gloves on the bottom screen. So we'll check in from time to time to see how those drivers are doing here this evening. And then before we get into qualifying, actually looks like qualifying just going to finish up. We'll take a look at the track. We're at the 2019 version where they did the revamp, located in Silverstone, UK, hence the name Silverstone. 3.19 miles in length, 17 corners. Track opened its first iteration in 1948. Great formula track, Rich. It's not a whole lot of passing opportunities in GT3 machinery, but with the rain playing a role here this evening, should be interesting.
It definitely. I think we're going to see some unexpected things, perhaps. Maybe some drivers are a little bit more adept in the wet weather than others, and we may see some surprises. I guess we'll find out shortly.
We will. And with that said, let's head over to see how our grid is going to shape up for this one. Round 9 of the series. See Alex Jacobson going to take top spot away from Marshall Crocker Jr., who held it in practice with most of the practice leading the way. They kind of jockeyed around here or there, but it was those 2 drivers up at the top. Fernando Rosario going to start in 3rd place with Jacob Dick to his outside. And then behind them in row number 3, we're going to find Chris Lashbrook and Adam Brady. In row 4, Brock Morris, Anthony Barranco. And then rounding out the top 10 is we're going to find Anthony, Tony Sorrentino, and Matt Mars. That's a qualifying run for him.
Very nice. And in row 6, P11, Evan Guimet. And then P12, Gustavo Ferraro. Row 7, we've got Chase Matsko and Adam Lowe. Row 8, Justin Welch, Jeremy Eschleman. In row 9, we've got Ryan Peters and Broughton Jones. And J.R. Davis, Ignacio Arroyo round out your top 20.
In row 11, 23rd place, we're going to find Alexander Berter and Faraz Ibrahim in the Petronas paint scheme Mercedes. Sharp looking paint on that thing.
Oh.
Row 12, Jacob Williams in 23rd with Aaron Sanford in 24th. Row 13, we're going to find Sash Andrick, one of our camera cars, with Robert Milbreath to his outside. Row 14 is where Aaron Siebens and Dustin Wells are going to fire up. Dustin, our Pro-Am leader, coming into this one. Mark Osier and Cody Deek going to round out our top 30.
Yeah, we got more, though, folks. More people. We've got in 31st, Tim Timmons. 32nd, we've got Micah Lemanchik. 33rd, we've got Macon Gazzoni and Mark Burdett. And that rounds out the field. 34-car field. Yeah, that's a healthy field we've got. As we're just coming around the last couple corners, pace car is going to be pulling off, and then Alex Jacobson is going to have control of the field.
Everybody getting queued up here behind Crocker Jr. and Jacobson. There we go. Green flag is out. And away we go here, Rich. 45 minutes of racing in Silverstone on a damp track. Looks like the sun's come out, but you can see that spray coming up. There's still a ton of water on the track.
Yeah, just a ton of water. But Alex Jacobson holds the lead right now. Marshall Crocker Jr. tucking in nicely in 2nd. We've got Jacob Dick in 3rd, up 1 position. Fernando Rosario dropping down 1 position on the start. We're all 3 wide in the back there, Rob, in the damp conditions. That's insane.
It is. Oh, Brock Morris got a little squirrely there. The yellow Corvette, Kettering University paint scheme on that thing. Try to get back into the front. Oh, just further we see the Mercedes. I think that was Lashbrook and Barranco in the Mustang. Both of them did a little bit of a tail waggle. So all these drivers I'm showing come out on wet tires. Looks like Tim Timmons actually came out on dry tires, but looks like he's quickly pulled back into the pits. So unfortunate decision for him. We didn't see Macon Gazzoni or Mark Burdett grid up, so looks like it's going to be about 32 cars see the grid, and so far so good, Rich.
Yeah, that's very unexpected. Although something may have happened to Jeremy Eshelman, unfortunately. Yeah, Jeremy's looks like he's had a little bit of a spin. Back on track now and moving once again, but unfortunate for the Threshold Motorsports driver. Let's take a look in the replay. It's coming around here. So far, so good. No contact. It just a little lack of traction on the cold tires and a damp track.
And unfortunately for him, it takes a little bit for those tires to get up to temp in normal conditions. Then you throw the rain tires on. It takes them about another lap or so, really, with the cooler track temps usually that you have in the rain. The rain helps to keep those track temps down, where it takes even longer to heat the tires up. But I think Adam Lowe with a slowdown here early on, you see him losing a ton of positions. I think we're going to see a whole lot of slowdowns here this evening, Rich, with the rain conditions. You get up on the curbs and the back end just snaps around on you. It's easy to go wide very quickly. So we'll see if he can recover. Down 2 spots right now. Ignacio Arroyo, who got around him, up 5 spots early on. So nice start for him.
Yeah, definitely. He is the biggest mover up in the mid to front of the pack. So solid start for Ignacio. And these guys too wide through this corner here. Very tough spot to go too wide, but navigating well with all the puddles. Look at the water pooling up there. Whoa, getting a little bit loose, but everything's okay. Ryan Peters currently in 17th place. That's where he started, folks, and looking to make some moves here on Adam Lowe up ahead.
Yeah, Ryan Peters, one of the admins in the SpongeBob pants, SpongeBob SquarePants paint scheme. Patrick trying to reach for SpongeBob on the side there. I think Ryan Peters might need a little bit of a lifeline there when he was battling door to door with Adam Lowe, but luckily both those drivers able to sneak through. But we got Jacob Dick in a battle here with Fernando Rosario, our leader in the Pro-Am class. Rosario in the Porsche, and the Porsche's traditionally very good in the rain, Rich, with the rear motor setup on those cars. They get a little more grip on the rear end, which is exactly what you need in the rain to get in and out of the corners.
Yeah, a little more grip on the rear end, but I don't know, Rob. The Porsche still scares me because every now and then it just does what it wants, and that is that pendulum effect with all that weight hanging in the back. But look at the spray here. Look at the spray as he's trying to negotiate. We take a look at Matt Mars. He doesn't see a whole lot there in certain sections, but fortunately, I thought the rain was subsiding, but it looks like it may have started up again, making for an interesting race here on lap number 2.
Yeah, we'll see how he does navigating through. Oh, man, something's happened to Alex Jacobson, our leader, off track. I'm wondering if that's a connection issue, seeing him quickly falling down the grid here, Rich, as I don't see him flagged for any kind of incident. So potentially, yeah, he's getting parked in the pits here, just falling down through the grid. That's unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can get himself back out on track, as he's had a strong season to this point. You'd hate to see it all go by the wayside due to connection. Yeah,
Jacobson has been very, very solid this season. Got bumped from Pro-Am up to Am because he was doing so well. Take a look here. Matt Mars always having a great paint job, always giving us a little bit of a show. Matt Mars currently in 6th place. Very, very solid drive. 3rd place in Pro-Am.
Yeah, good run for him. Driving the Porsche this week. Normally we see him in the... Jacob Dick is around. Looks like he got into the wall too as well. Lost that rear wing. That is not going to be comfortable driving in the rain without that rear downforce there, Rich.
Yeah, it's going to make the car a little lighter, but lighter is not what you want. Yeah, look at that. He's spinning around on the next corner, very next corner. So take a look at the replay. Coming in, catches a little bit of water, a little hydroplaning, backing goes around, and then he backs it into the wall, and there goes the wing, and there goes his night, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll give the fans and the millions and millions watching at home a little idea what happens. You try and drive a GT3 machine with no rear wing in the rain. You're going to see promptly in the next corner here, Jacob going to unfortunately slide around again. Just no downforce on the back end without that wing, and in the rain, it makes it tight.
Nice drifting, though.
Oh, man, nice. We go back live. Flashbrook, and I think that was Guimet around. No, it wasn't. It was, what was that Mustang Bronco that went around?
Branco. Yeah. Anthony Branco was one of the drivers involved.
Justin Welsh is off track too as well.
Yeah, the rain is picking up and is starting to pool and puddle. That's going to make the cars hydroplane, and the drivers are not adjusting, Rob.
Yeah, we see Bronco around the outside. Comes back in. Oh, he gets up on the curbs. It's loose into Lashbrook. Unfortunately, Lashbrook just a passenger at that point in time. Not much he can do with staying to the inside, but we've seen it time and time again. You get up on those curbs in the rain, Rich, there's just no grip there at all.
No grip at all, and I think part of the issue there was when he was coming into that corner, he got himself fully into the puddle, couldn't turn to avoid the curb, and that was that. So, you know what that does, though? That puts Matt Mars up to third overall. Nice job to this start of this race, Matt. And Adam Brady, though, he's saying, hey, if you can do that, so can I. So Adam Brady's trying to pry a little pressure here. They're going side-by-side action, folks. Adam Brady now up to third. Oh, Matt Mars, is he going to bail out of it? No, they're going to go side-by-side some more. Matt Mars now back to third. Great action. All that going on, though. Brock Morris, let's not forget about Brock Morris. He's up to fifth, up 2 positions. Brock Morris maybe playing a little possum here and just starting off slow and finishing a little strong, maybe.
Yeah, Ford versus Chevrolet here. Corvette versus Mustang. And then we had the Mustang versus the Porsche and Mars. We saw there the epitome of what I was saying with the Porsche, where Mars is just able to go a little deeper into the corners, get into the throttle a little quicker versus that Mustang of Brady, which has a ton of straight line speed, but in and out of the corners here in the rain, Rich, it's struggling. Oh, he's playing it dicey up on the curbs. So he really had to feather the throttle that allowed Morris to stick the nose right up the inside.
Yeah, Matt Mars loving what he's seeing in his rearview mirror, because as long as Adam Brady's holding up Brock Morris, neither driver can come after them, and Aaron Sanford off into the gravel, getting a little off track there. Oh, wrong way there, Aaron, trying to get it back on track safely, but just very frustrating when that happens. But all that's going on, Marshall Crocker Jr. almost a 6-second lead over Fernando Rosario. So Crocker Jr. obviously did his homework, lots of practice in the rain, because he's just jumped out to a huge lead.
Yeah, he's, as I said, he was up at the top of practice pretty much the entire session. Had a couple drivers jockey up there here and there, but for the most part it was Crocker Jr. Well, let's take a look at what happened to Ignacio Arroyo. As he's going to spin and go off track, and almost gets into Aaron Sanford, who was still waiting for the rest of the field to go by, so get back on track.
Just stopping by to say hi. I like that little, he did that 360, backed it up, rolled down the passenger side window, said hi. But Alexander Berger, 14th place, or he's up to 13th place, up 8 positions, making that move on Ryan Peters. I'm wondering if Peters may have had a slowdown, but right now, Berger's having himself a solid effort, and he's third in amateur class. Sasha Andrick in 10th is first. Broughton Jones in 11th is second. Alexander Berger, 13th is third. So, solid effort from those drivers.
Yeah, good run for a lot of drivers. As you mentioned, Andrick up 15 spots. Nice run for him. New driver that I was talking to, Matt Mars, before the session. I believe he said Sasha runs either the next gen races or the prototype races, and decided to try his hand at the GT3s this evening. So looks like it's working out well for him so far. Up into 10th place. We'll see if he can continue to move forward. But Chase Matsko on the inlay, nice race for him too as well. Up 7 places, just outside the top 5 and 6 places. We see Jeremy Eshelman. He's looking in the inside of Jay Davis. We saw Eshelman go off early on. We know he has some speed, trying to get back to where he qualified. Now down 1 spot from where he qualified. He's also our race sponsor for this evening, he and his team. And while we go ahead and focus on his recovery run here, Rich, let's go ahead and have a little chat here about Alpha Reinforcing, who is not only the sponsor of the race, he's riding the paint scheme here this evening. See if we can get a close-up look. There we go. Alpha Reinforcing inside. Rebar detailing. They're experts in rebar and structural steel estimating and detailing. The foundations of skyscrapers, they deliver precision, accuracy, and results you can build on. Scan that QR code for all their contact info. So thank you to Jeremy Eshelman for sponsoring the race. The league appreciates it. We appreciate it, as it allows us to come in here and do our thing and cover a ton of exciting racing here right now. Hard to believe that we're only 11 minutes into this race, Rich.
Yeah, well, that's going on. Yeah, Jeremy was his family business, I guess, sponsored 2 weeks ago as well. So FMA, it's all free racing, folks. If you want to race in FMA, you just got to sign up, join the Discord. They'll let you in for free. Everything's done by donation, by sponsorship. So that's how these broadcasts happen. That's how these races happen. But while that was going on, I think something may have happened to Gustavo Ferraro. Unfortunately, Rob, I don't know if you've got a replay of that or something worth showing a replay of. I'm sure Gustavo won't be thrilled to see it, but hey, we got to show what happens here, folks.
I'm having a look. I'm not seeing anything immediately for Gustavo. I'm seeing stuff for almost everybody else. Mark Osier, Chris Lashbrook had another off. Anthony Barranco off track. Robert Milbrath, Cody Deek, Arroyo again, Sanford, Milbrath. We've got a ton of drivers off, so I'm not sure what happened to Gustavo Ferraro. I see he got passed by a number of drivers. So we'll see if we can take a look here and see what happened to him. Is Osier
something happened to Mark Osier?
Oh, there's Ferraro there. Looks like he just had a little bit of a situation, had to pull over, and of course they didn't get flagged for a crash or an off track. It looks like Ryan Peters now driving with no rear end on that Ferrari. That's going to be a handful of drive.
Yeah, Ryan Peters was having a solid effort. He was at one point, he was the top qualifying amateur. Another one of the advantage drivers having a solid start, but unfortunately, that's going to be real tough. I love the pace scheme, though. I mean, you gotta love this pace scheme. I mean, so far so good, though. He's not actually doing too bad with no bumper, no wing, no. I mean, they're just looking up the booty of that car.
I wonder if Jacob Williams right now is a little scared to try and make the move around him. You just don't know when that car is going to snap around as you try and get by. Maybe wait for the straights, but I guess with no rear wing and no bodywork on the back end, you have a little less downforce, maybe even quicker in a straight line, Rich.
Yeah, maybe it's just the way the airflow and the aerodynamics is working. It's just it's letting everything move just well, but this is going to be tough here through this little section. Coming down in the midfield, coming through what we hear around turns 4 or 5, and there we go. Ryan Peters, he's trying to hold him off, but right now that's going to be real hard to do because, yeah, it's Jacob Williams just kind of walked by, doing his best he could to hold on, but a little further back, we got a nice battle here between Dustin Wells in 21st and Gustavo Ferraro, who's now back again underway.
He's got himself recollected, back up, back on track, and oh, man, looks like Ryan Peters has it finally looks like it's finally come to fruition. He's now dog tracking that thing, and he's unfortunately just gone past pit entrance, so I think his race day might be done. I don't think he's gonna get very far there, but Aaron Sanford definitely doesn't want to see that car swinging around in front of him. Sanford gonna sneak by on the inside. But, oh, man, things got dicey there for a minute for those two drivers.
Yeah, that's once the car starts doing that, you got to get off the track if you can, folks. That's a little dangerous, but we're going to go up a little further up the field. Brock Morris is still, he's in 4th place. He's managed to move up to 4th, up 3 positions. But you know what? Matt Mars is over 4 seconds ahead of him right now. That is some stellar driving by Matt Mars. He's got about 2.5 seconds up to Fernando Rosario ahead of him. Marshall Crocker Jr. is checked out, Rob. He's 12 seconds ahead of everybody. So he's got time to go switch to dry tires, put back on wet tires, and do whatever he wants when it comes down pit lane. But so far, so good for Marshall Crocker Jr.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Rich, in the rain, all it takes is one mistake, and that 12-second gap you have can quickly go by the wayside. So you can't get you can't get too comfortable yet. He's still got to get it to the checkered flag, but things looking good right now for Matt Mars and Marshall Crocker Jr. and Fernando Rosario too as well. A driver who we've seen show some pace throughout many FMA GT3 races, but always seems to get himself caught up in something. Something always seems to happen around him, but right now looking good and comfortable in that Porsche 911 GT3R right now in 2nd place, which is also top spot in Pro-Am class.
Yeah, Fernando, he has had his misfortunes. Last week he actually had a good week, so this could be back-to-back solid efforts for Fernando Rosario. taking a look here while that's going on, and Jacob Williams continuing to have some issues, it looks like, unfortunately. So he's just dropping back through the field. This is it's been a battle for some of the drivers out here. The wet weather and the pooling of the rain, the puddles, certainly can test your patience and test the limits of what you can do out here.
Yeah, as you see there, the Iron Horse Motorsports team, Marshall Crockett Jr. leading the way. Williams 7th in class. Anthony Bronco 9th in class. So, you know what? Not the dominant performance we've seen by the Iron Horse Motorsports teams this season, Rich.
No, not the dominant performance, but you can't win them all. Well, I can't win any, but, you know, nobody can win them all. But so far, so good here for Marshall Crocker Jr. representing the team, but back a little bit further in the midfield. Tony, don't call me Anthony Sorrentino, as you called him, Rob. Currently in 7th place, so he's up 2 positions on the day. He's kind of following along here behind Chase Matsuko and Evan Guimet. So Chase sitting in 6th. He's up 7 positions. Evan he's in 5th, up 6 positions. So these drivers really taking advantage of others' misfortunes, but also making some moves on their own.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the Aston of Sorrentino able to chase down Matsko, as he's just moved around Evan Guimet, who Guimet had that off. That's going to unfortunately cost him a number of spots. Bit of a gap between Adam Brady and behind him. He's going to lose a spot to Matsko, and Sorrentino is going to drop him down into 7th place. And you know what? We've seen a lot of Mustangs just losing the back end here, Rich. They get a lot of weight over the front end. Even though it's a front motor car, they try and put the engine back as far as they can against the firewall, but it still has a light rear end no matter how much wing you have on the back of that thing. And we see what happened there in Guimet. But luckily for him, no wall in sight.
That looks just like the ones I'm used to seeing back in the day when I used to go to the car cruises over at the Hooters restaurant, watching the Mustangs leave the parking lot. Back end sliding around and fishtailing all over the place and out of control, but very unfortunate. But anyways, we're going to go on board here or follow along. Yeah, and on board. We're doing it all, folks. We got Sasha Andrick. I believe Sasha joined us in GT3 actually last week, but Sasha having a solid race. I think we kind of missed him in the post-race interview. So Sasha, if you podium here, which right now you're up to do, you're up 17 positions, 1st in amateur class. Come on in for your interview after the race.
We don't give freebie interviews here, Richard.
well, we take payment. I mean, we can be bribed. I mean, and he is 1st in AM as far as I can see.
Oh no, Matt Mars is off.
No.
Luckily for him, they had a nice gap over some of the field in behind. He's going to fall from 3rd down to 6th. That's going to put him just ahead of Evan Guimet. Let's see what happened to Mars. So into the last couple of corners. It's through there, good. Oh, up onto the curb.
Can't do that. Can't do that, Matt.
In the dry, he would have been able to save that, but just that little bit extra weight transfer coming back down, that's going to spin him around. But it looks like at the same time, Ignacio Arroyo had an incident too as well. Let's see what happened to him as he's coming out of pit lane here. Oh, and just spins it around. Must be some puddles on pit lane there. Unfortunately, he's going to hydroplane, and I think he's probably going to get a penalty too as well, Rich, because that was before the pit exit cone.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a penalty for him. You know, I was thinking if Matt was running one of those chocolate-themed cars like he was, he may have had a little more ballast, a little more weight, may have been able to handle that curve. So we may need him to go back to one of his older paint schemes. But Evan Guimet now, Evan Guimet's smelling blood in the water, and he's closing on quick on Matt Mars. So both drivers here are looking to continue moving forward. Matt Mars, he's still up 4 positions, but he's way down from where he was in 3rd place.
Yeah, interesting enough, before these two drivers had their incidents, Mars was in 3rd, Guimet was in 5th, so they're trying to work their way back up. So they were relatively close in the position on the race, a little farther away on track, but we'll see here if Guimet able to muster some speed to chase him down. But in the inlay, you can see Adam Brady, he's trying to chase Alexander Berger up ahead. It was a little closer, but it looks like Berger's starting to open up a bit of a gap now. over Brady. Brady's had a bit of an up and down day. We've seen him battling up into the top 5 looking for a podium position, but he's now fallen back into 11th place.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day for a lot of drivers, but surprisingly, we're still here. Over 21 minutes into this race, we've got 27 drivers still on the lead lap, or 28 drivers still on the lead lap in racing. So that's a positive sign, Rob, considering we only started with 32. Take a look here. Good close racing. Aaron Sanford. Oh my goodness here. Aaron Sanford. We got Chris Lashbrook in behind him. And behind Cody Deek is following in third. Cody Deek had a solid effort last week. Nice to see him have a solid effort. But Chris Lashbrook, that earlier incident, dropping him 19 positions from a starting position. He's closing up, though, and looking to get some of those places back.
We'll see if he's able to make the move around the inside of Sanford. Lashbrook's already been into the pits. Only a quick little 5-second stop. I think that was to repair some damage. So we'll see if he needs to pop back in again. That's the other thing too as well, Rich, we should mention. They do need to make a pit stop at some point in time. But with the rain, it always seems to, you save a little bit of fuel because you're not riding as high speed as you normally would in the dry. So I wonder if maybe that quick little pit stop for Lashbrook might get him to the end here if he's going to need to pop in for a little splash and dash.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. Going from memory here, I could be wrong, but I believe the stewards for this race, the race director, is giving a free fast repair just to compensate for the rain in case people have incidents. So I'm wondering if Chris Lashbrook probably took advantage of that, and we'll see if he managed to grab a little bit of fuel or enough fuel while he was in there.
Yeah, we are nearing the halfway point. Actually, I guess we just passed the halfway point about 10-15 seconds ago. So we'll see if some more drivers pop in here, Rich, to take advantage of their fuel stop. But Alexander Berger now on the offensive, trying to get back around Brady. Last time we checked in with these drivers, it was Brady trying to chase down Berger. So he's gotten around, but now Adam Lowe trying to get into the party here as well. That's battle for 11th and 12th, but also inter-class battle. Berger in the AM class and Lowe in our Pro-Am class, but that don't matter. We're going to battle it out on track. Every point, every position matters, Rich.
Oh, it certainly does. And I'm just getting shivers watching these guys go around. And when you see the puddles, I mean, right now, Adam Lowe can't see anything. And, well, now he can. He pulled off to the side, but before he was tucked right in behind Alexander Berger. You can see the puddling here on the track. Oh, getting real close. You don't want to get up on the curb. Low, just avoiding the curbs. But yeah, you see that back end come around. Got a little bit of the wet spots there, folks. You don't want to be driving on the wet spot. He gets real slippery.
A little bit of the wet spots there. Classic. Love it. It looks like Anthony Bronco again. His bad day getting worse here, as that Iron Horse Motorsports Mustang gonna go around again. Looks like another solo spin up on the curbs, and probably safe to say Anthony Bronco not all that thrilled about racing the rain here at Silverstone.
You know, Anthony, I feel your pain because I'm not a big rain racer myself. I always wanted rain in iRacing. I was sure glad when they brought it in. I just wasn't I'm still not very good at it, but hey, next week's a different week. We take a look here at Broughton Jones in 9th. Broughton Jones having a solid day. He's second in AM. He's up 9 positions. Adam Brady battling on in behind him. Adam Brady down 4. Looking to make some recoveries here. Brady sending it and tucking it in up front. Adam Brady gets one of those positions back up to 9th. Broughton Jones down to 10th, but Broughton Jones still second in amateur.
What a move there by Adam Brady.
Oh, it was a huge set.
Throw caution to the wind. I'm wondering maybe if Broughton Jones saw that and backed out even more than he normally would have, just to try and make sure there was no contact between those two drivers. But hats off to Adam Brady. He committed to that send and he went for it. But you know what? It could go a number of ways when that happens. But we got a battle shaping up here for 3rd place. Anthony Sorrentino has now caught Chase Matsko. You see these two battling here. Matsko, it's a very, very busy paint he's got on that car tonight, Rich.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Chase normally drive some sort of camo livery. Even for the May the 4th special edition liveries of last week, he still had camo all over the car, but not this week. Getting a little more spooky out there.
Somebody should let them know Halloween isn't until October, but anyways, it's a sharp looking paint, but they got Matt Mars sneaking back into the fray, so Matt showing it wasn't a fluke that showing it wasn't a fluke that he got himself up into the top 3 early on here, Rich. He's had the pace. Last lap 2:15.03, which is almost 1 full second quicker than Sorrentino and a second and a half quicker than Matsko. We see at by virtue of that, right up on the back of Sorrentino here now. So we'll see if Mars is able to snip around him. But we're going to be watching these drivers too as well. They've been nearing the end of their fuel window here, Rich. So it could potentially, one of these drivers pop in, seeing Mars chasing up in behind him and trying to relinquish some of that pressure.
Yeah, all that's going on. That's 2 admin advantage drivers in the top 5. Let's take a look at Matt Mars. Sorrentino going a little wide. Gathers it back up. So far holding off Mars. I thought Mars was going to get the job done there, but Sorrentino maybe deliberately going wide, trying to avoid all the pooling of water on the track.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those puddles. We've seen a number of drivers get into some hydroplaning. Looks like Bronco and Lashbrook both with incidents again. Some drivers been struggling here this evening, and again, safe to say they'll be looking forward to next week heading to Portimao, which is probably going to be dry if I was a betting man, Rich.
I think you might be right, and I wonder if it's a coincidence that the weatherman or the person who set the weather today is doing so well. He must have done a lot of practicing. Matt Mars, 5th place, is continuing to hunt down Tony Sorrentino.
You might be onto something there, Rich. We'll have to, if we get him in the booth, we'll have to maybe ask and see how much practice he did put into it to this week.
Yeah, I think he had to do a bunch of practice because just trying to get the weather right, you don't want it in such a downpour that the track is just a river and you can't see anything. And speaking of Matt Mars diving into the pits, 17 minutes left. Matt Mars coming in on lap 12.
Yeah, so Mars is going to be the first one to blink out of that battle. We'll see if Sorrentino and Matsko respond next time by, but Broughton Jones here got passed by Alexander Berger about a lap or so ago, trying to fight back. It's battle for 10th and 11th place. Berger up 11 spots, Jones up 7 spots, so a couple drivers doing well here seeming, I say that, but Jones gets a little squirrely, hops over the curb, got slowed down, and thankfully for Alex Berger, he didn't get into the back of him, although Berger's eyes probably got huge there, looking in his mirror, seeing Sanford getting squirrely in behind. Or sorry, Jones getting squirrely behind.
Sometimes it's a good idea, just don't look in the mirror, Rob. If you don't look, you don't see, you can't be scared. You know those people like to give you the razzle-dazzle in behind. I never see them because I'm not looking. Unless it's nighttime, unless it's nighttime, I don't even notice. So Matt Mars out of the pits. So Matt Mars comes out in 9th place. Right now he's kind of setting the benchmark. Him and Brock Morris are the 2 front runners who have pitted. Brock Morris in 7th and Matt Mars in 9th. They're separated by, about 6 seconds.
And Mars came out right ahead of that battle we were watching between Berger and Jones. He's going to need about a lap or so to get his tires back up to temp, as they're going to cool off once he came in for his fuel cycle there. But we're seeing some more drivers in. Ibrahim Lamanchik, Lashbrook, as I mentioned, another incident for him. So it looks like he might have used his quick compare early on, Rich, as he's sitting at the 2-minute mark now in the pits. So that's possibly going to be a race ending this time for Chris Lashbrook.
Yeah, our Aussie driver not having his best race. You know who's having one of his best races, though, is Marshall Crocker Jr. Let's take a look here, folks. I can count that up high, He's 23 seconds ahead of 2nd place now.
Yeah, and not to be outdone, Rosario another 10 seconds ahead of Matsko in 3rd too as well. But both those drivers do owe us a pit stop. It'll be interesting to see whether Morris has been able to make up some time, as he came in earlier than Rosario. But I think at that point in time, Rosario still had at least a 6 to 8 second gap over Morris. So it's going to take some quick laps here by Morris to close that gap. But you can see the track conditions starting to dry out here a little bit, but still not dry enough for these drivers to switch over into dry tires, Rich. So we won't be seeing any dry. Well, I should say that maybe somebody will try the dry tires, but it's definitely not at that state yet, I would think.
Yeah, somebody might be a fool. Somebody might be a fool, Rob. But so far, nobody who's pitted has made that attempt. Nobody, at least nobody in the top at 25 or so. So right now, Adam Lowe currently 18th place. Adam Lowe and Anthony Barranco just up ahead of him. Both these drivers are pitted. Adam Lowe wasn't in the pits for very long. Only 8.8 seconds in his stall compared to Anthony Barranco, 10.5 seconds. So we'll see how the fuel goes. As you said, wet conditions, they're not going full throttle as quite as often as they normally are. They're going to be easier on the loud pedal, use a bunch less fuel. So we'll see how things shape up in the last 13 and a half minutes of this race.
Yeah, I would think if you were being a little miserly on the fuel or on the right pedal there, Rich, throughout the race, 8 seconds is probably all right, but we'll see. We got a couple other drivers. Jacobson was only 8 seconds in there too as well, and once he got back on track after that incident he had. So unfortunately, what could have been for Alex Jacobson got parked due to internet connection issue. Got that cleared up, but our race leader now, Marshall Crocker Jr., he's in for his fuel cycle.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is the end of the pit window. We'll find out with the other drivers when they get there. But if it isn't, he's going to come out into some traffic because his lead is so huge. I think he's going to come out, somewhere in the top 5 or 6, right in the mix of everybody. So Fernando Rosario also coming down pit lane. We'll take a look and we'll see Chase Matsko would be the next driver coming by. We'll see if Chase comes in, but no, Chase staying out for another one. You know what? I think this is going to give Chase the lead of this race.
Yeah, he'll take the lead for a lap, but looks like Crocker should be exiting pit road here. Actually, he might come back out ahead of Matsko. Could he have went in, came out, and still held on to that spot? Looks like he is.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
That 30-second gap over Chase Matsko, exactly what he needed to hold on to that spot, but Matsko still owes us a pit stop. But he's found one extra lap of fuel. Well, I shouldn't say he found it. He hasn't completed the lap here yet, Rich. Silverstone could be a little tricky because the pit entrance is actually back a couple corners before the final sector of the track, and sometimes I find it throws your fuel calculations off, as the majority of the pit stalls are actually after the start finish line. So if you don't keep an eye on your fuel calculator, it may take and say you have another lap, but that's only to the line. You might be on pit road and kind of spittering and sputtering as you're heading down pit road. Hopefully Chase Matsko is taking that into account here this evening.
Yeah, I hope so. But that said, he's not the only one who stayed out. Tony Sorrentino is also still out. So these two drivers, as well as I believe Broughton Jones, has stayed out, and maybe Gustavo Ferraro. So, if it was just one person, I'd be worried. But there's several of them, so I'm guessing they think they have enough fuel to keep going. Tony
They might all be
Sorrentino
parked on
currently
the
in
track
third place.
beside each other, Rich.
Well, that could be too, and maybe they'll just let Brock Morris give them a little push back into pit lane. I don't think Brock's going to be doing that for them, though.
It's funny enough, you mentioned the pushing into pit lane. Was it last week, the early show that we cover here on Monday Night's Pony Express? They were at Nürburgring, the Nordschleife layout, and there was a couple guys that were battling for the last 15 minutes of the race, and the one driver ran out of fuel on the back stretch, where you're heading up the stretch. You get a couple S's at the end for the start finish line. Well, the guy who was battling with decided, I'm going to push him to the line. They thought they had enough of a gap over the car in behind, Rich. They got about 2 corners to the start finish line, and wow, the guy in behind in third passed them and took second place at the end of the race. Well, they were trying to be sportsmen about it. So.
Go for the kill, folks. That's just teaching you. Go for the kill.
Sometimes, sometimes being kind doesn't work out for you, but unfortunately for Michael Lemanchek, he's gone off track. Oh, I said behind him, Jacob Williams swings back in around 2 as well. So we're starting to see it really getting dry out there. I wonder maybe now, Rich, if these wet tires might be starting to overheat a little bit, where these drivers need to be trying to find some water on track to cool them off.
Yeah, well, Jeremy Eschleman, he's on dries now, as is Aaron Sanford and Dustin Wells. So some of the drivers making that move, and we'll see how Jeremy does here. You can see there's a lot of spray, and he looks like he doesn't have a whole lot of grip right now.
Yeah, you hear how gingerly he's having to go into the corners. You can see the puddles on track. It's, you know what, I've tried this move before and it didn't work out well for me, but we'll see how it works out for Jeremy. But, you know, he's getting caught quickly here by Faraz, and I think he's just going to get eaten up by the rest of the field. It's still on the wet tires.
Yeah, I think different sections of the track are a lot drier than this section, unfortunately, for Jeremy. So he's just hoping to get into a little drier place. As we take a look at Chase Amatsko, he's done his service. He comes out. He's in ninth place. So he comes out in ninth. Anthony Baranko comes out in 11th.
Looks like Matsko must have got either a speeding or improper pit entry penalty there, Rich. A minute 28 on and off pit road. That's cost him a ton of spots.
Yeah, 49, almost 50 seconds in his pit stall. That's definitely what happened there. Some sort of pit lane violation. But, you know, Tony Sorrentino, he says, thank you very much. I'm going up to fifth. I'm up 4 positions right now. Tony Sorrentino, Evan Guimet in behind him. These two drivers battling hard, both on wet tires, wisely enough, and that's what's allowing them to keep the pace they've got.
And the two teammates, Warped Esports teammates, third place respectively in each of their classes. So, see a nice race shaping up here for the Warped Esports team, as Jay Davis currently sitting in 10th overall as well. That's 3 drivers in the top 10 for them. So if they can bring it home that way, nice points all for them in the team championship. And there we see Jeremy Eshelman on those dry tires, just on the struggle bus. Has just been lapped now by our leader, Marshall Crocker Jr.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it wasn't his best effort with the earlier issues. I guess he said, hey, let's try something, because what's going on right now is not going to get us all the points I want, especially me bringing on today's race sponsor. So, oh no, we got black flag here for Anthony Baranko. That's never good. But Matt Mars, in spite of that earlier issue, is still battling hard. He's in 4th place right now, 2nd in class. He's behind Brock Morris. He's got about 3.5 seconds to Brock Morris up ahead, but solid effort for Matt Mars in the rain tonight.
He's found some pace. He ran the fastest lap on track last time, Rich, by over a second from our leader, Marshall Crocker Jr. 2:12.99. The only driver to dip into the 2:12s last time was Matt Mars. Marshall Crocker Jr. 2:14.7. Rosario 2:14.48. Morris 2:13.68. So Mars putting a push on here at the end. Unfortunately, I think he might be a little too far back from Brock Morris to get himself the final step on the overall podium. But as you mentioned, 2nd in class, he's not going to shake a stick at that.
No, that's certainly something to be proud of. Great efforts there. We take a look at the teammates continue to follow each other. 5th and 6th place, Tony Sorrentino, Evan Guimet. I don't think they're going to be battling each other too hard here. Just happy to get the team points. They're both 3rd in class, as you said. Oh, who's that off to the move? Dustin Wells looks like moving over and out of the way, letting the drivers a lap ahead get by cleanly.
Yeah, rough race for our AM points leader, Dustin Wells, coming to this one. Thankfully for him, he's got a pretty huge lead in the AM category of the points, drivers points championship, where a rough race here shouldn't affect him all that much. But you know, Sasha Andrick been leading the AM class from the start here. Now, I was talking to Matt Mars before the start of the race. He wasn't quite sure which class to put him into, so he opted for the AM class. So we'll see if maybe he gets promoted up into Pro-Am for next race. But up 18 spots into 7th place. Just been a pillar of consistency here in that AM class Porsche 911 GT3 RS.
Yeah, the Porsche's doing pretty good here with Matt Mars in 4th. We've got Sasha in 7th. Pretty solid having 2 of them in the top 10. Like you said, they definitely seem to. So of course, Fernando Rosario sitting in 2nd overall. So cars seem to be handling the wet weather quite well, as is Marshall Crocker Jr. on the inlay up in 1st place, up 25 seconds over Fernando Rosario at this stage.
There we can see Mars has caught Morris. He's proven a liar out of me here, Rich. He's now only 1.6 seconds back of Brock Morris up ahead. And I'm having a look. Both very similar pit stop times. 12.6 for Mars, 12 flat for Morris. So I'm assuming Morris has
Still-
enough fuel to get him to the end, not having to save fuel with about 2 laps to go here. We'll see if Mars can mount a charge to get himself into the overall podium position.
Yeah, that is impressive. And still the fastest driver out on track, Matt Mars, at this late stage of the race, putting on a late charge.
Yeah,
Take a
we
look at-
saw he had that incident earlier on where, you know, he was sitting in third, so it'd be a little bittersweet for him probably to get back up into third. Rich, you know how frustrating that could be, knowing you had it potentially locked in, one little mistake, and around you go. But you can almost cue the Jaws music. We know Brock Morris isn't going to go quietly in the night. A multi-time winner here in FMA across all the varieties of racing, whether it's the FMA Next Gen on Sunday nights, prototypes on Thursdays, or GT3 here on Monday nights. Sorry, the pilot that is Brock Morris been a top contender, but looks like that Corvette just not happy here in the rain. Rich, looks like the back end really struggling to stay behind it.
We've seen several times this season where that Corvette didn't look like it had the handling that some of the other cars did. Brock Morris had always seemed to, for the most part, get the most out of it, even when it was ill handling. But right now, Matt Mars closed this gap down to nothing, folks. Like, we're talking 3-4 tenths of a second, and maybe even less. Matt Mars on a charge. Now it's a matter of, can he get by Brock Morris?
Yeah, catching him is one thing, getting by him is another. So they just crossed the start-finish line there a couple corners ago. So they'll have this lap plus one more here, Rich. Who's going to hold on to that final step on the podium? Surprisingly, Morris didn't defend the inside. He stayed on the normal race line there, forcing Mars. If he was going to try and make a move, he's going to try and send it up in the inside. They get some lap traffic up ahead. We'll see if that plays a role as Michael Lemanchuk, the purple and blue McLaren 720S, just up ahead of them. So I suspect Lemanchuk can just pull aside and let them go, as we've seen him do many times in the past. But you see there, rough sector for Mars has fallen back a little bit for Morris. Morris starting to find a little more pace. At least he's Mars in the rear. There goes Lemanchuk up ahead. So there's one way to deal with traffic.
Yeah, nice and kindly getting out of the way. And they're only a couple seconds behind Fernando Rosario. So I think they're going to run out of time here. Like I said, we just got just a lap and half, lap and 3/4 left. Mars continuing to apply that pressure to Brock Morris. And Fernando Rosario up ahead. We take a look at Fernando Rosario with Jacob Williams just getting by, Gustavo Ferraro. So Fernando Rosario, great race. But there you see Brock Morris and Matt Mars, and not too far behind. Oh, Brock Morris just dropping connection.
Oh, and, man.
Matt Mars up to third place. Brock Morris has dropped, it looks like, Rob.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back. It's magic.
Yeah, he was blinking back and forth about 4 or 5 times there. It was cycling back and forth between Morris and Mars. So, man, you hate seeing that connection when you're behind the car trying to make the move and passing on him. So we'll see if that clears up here. But they are, you know, they're coming around to pick up the last lap here shortly. But speaking of the final lap, our leader, Marshall Crocker Jr., 2 more corners to go for him. He'll be picking up the white flag from Barney this time by. Dominant performance from him. 27 seconds ahead of second place Fernando Rosario. He's had that gap up over 30 seconds. Just has it on cruise control at this point in time, Rich.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like, Rob. That's not my style of racing, I got to tell you.
Well, I say that, but he throws it off track there into turn 2. But I'm sure he's got incident points to play with here. No real reason to push it. But let's go back to that battle. Ooh, as you see, Mars going off track a little bit, back into that Porsche, got squirrely. So he's trying to put the pressure on Morris. It might be at this point in time where he's trying to put too much pressure on him, overdriving the car a little bit. He needs to go back to what got him there, Rich. Just putting in the quick laps, trying to put the pressure on the back of Morris. As we saw, it was the Corvette that was loose not long ago, and now it seems like the tables have turned, where now it's the Porsche that's a little more loose in the back end. Oh, and around he goes.
Oh, no. Come on, Matt, save it.
There he goes. Lick the envelope and send it. That's going to do it for Matt Mars' podium contention here, as long as Brock Morris can bring it home. But you know what? Hats off to him. He was trying, he was pushing, trying to get back to that spot. But what's not going to be for him is going to work out well for Brock Morris.
Yeah, but meanwhile, teammates is still continuing to have their little battle of fun between Tony Sorrentino, Evan Guimet. It kind of, they're not quite bump drafting, but they're real close. And now it's enough. Okay, enough of being teammate. Oh, I thought he was going to send it in there, but just maybe throwing them a dummy and letting them know that, hey, I can make the move if I want to. I just don't want to, says Evan Guimet.
Yeah, as we see Adam Brady here battling one of their teammates, Jay Davis, in the Warped Esports camp. That's for 9th and 10th place. That's an in-class battle between those two drivers. Marshall Crocker Jr. now heading into the final corner. There he goes. 2 more corners for him. Quick little left-right combo. Then it'll be around for the checker flag. That's going to give Week 9 win to Marshall Crocker Jr. There he is. One more time here. The crowd is standing up. They're waving their flags, Rich. Everybody's cheering on the race winner, Marshall Crocker Jr. Into the final corner, he's going to come.
No,
the
Rob,
Iron Horse. No, he's coming there. Iron Horse.
Okay.
Where am I? Oh, am I in the wrong corner
No,
track?
he's only on turn 9, Rob.
Oh, I got my track.
He's still got 8 corners to go. He's still got time to crash.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even
okay.
realize my track map is upside down. I'm looking at the old start-finish line.
That's okay. I made it. We've done, I don't know, we've done a few hundred broadcasts together, folks. I make lots of mistakes. Rob makes very few, but when he makes one, I'm going to call it out.
You know what? It's not going to change the fact I got a race. He's going to win the race, but what a bonehead move there, Rich. I pulled a Richard Swindells. I got it right this time. Into the final corner now here, Rich.
Yeah, that's, well, I think the race is over. I think he was over the last lap, Rob, because everybody else is kind of stopped.
Oh, you know what? He had already crossed the finish line when I thought he was at the old start-finish line, so that's on me. But yeah, that's going to wrap that one up.
We can't get them all right, folks. Yeah, that's what happens when we bring in a temporary producer. But Marshall Crocker Jr., our race winner, celebrating like he did last week. You know what, Rob? You missed it last week. He won the race. He drove around the track backwards faster than I can go forwards, and he did the interview while doing it.
Well, hats off to him. Back-to-back wins for Marshall Crocker Jr. But let's gear up here, Rich, and we'll take a look at the official results, see where everybody finished up, while Crocker Jr. tries to get himself DQ'd. On the pro side of things, what do we got, Rich?
We got Marshall Crocker Jr., no surprise, led every lap here, folks. Brock Morris is 2nd place. Brock Morris and Tony Sorrentino finishing it out in 3rd. Chase Matsko 4th. Alex Jacobson rounding out your top 5.
And then over in Pro-Am, we got Fernando Rosario taking the win. Matt Mars going to come home in 2nd. Evan Guimet going to round out the podium in Pro-Am with Jay Davis, Adam Brady rounding out a top 5. Lowe, Ferraro, Assier, Bronco, Milbrath, Arroyo, and Welsh going to round out the field. What do we got in the AM class, Rich?
Yes, Sasha Hendrick in a solid race coming in 1st. Broughton Jones in 2nd. Then we had Aaron Stevens in 3rd. Faraz Abraham in 4th. Cody Deek 5th. Jacob Williams, Michael Lemanchik, Ryan Peters, Alexander Berger, Aaron Samford rounding out the top 10.
Well, it looks like Crocker Jr. has parked his machine.
Well, he doesn't get interviewed if he's parked. I mean, he's got to be driving backwards if he wants to get interviewed, doesn't he?
That's a good point. See a little action shot from earlier in the race of the rooster tail of rain kicking off the back of that car. But you know what? Let's bring in our race winner here to catch up with Richard Swindells and tell us how he did it back-to-back weeks.
Hey, Marshall, congratulations. We haven't seen you for a few weeks. Oh, I mean, I
was missing you guys last week. 6 nights.
Last week Rob wasn't here, and I said it was a shame we'd missed him the week before when he was obviously here. Marshall Crocker Jr., solid race. He kind of walked away with that one.
Yeah, man, that one is sad. I think the race a couple weeks ago at Mexico, that one where Jacobson had the pit entry issue, that's kind of what spelled it out for me. Still had to bring it home there in the end. That one felt a little different. That one, execution mistakes here and there. Like I think executing and being consistent is a skill. I didn't always chalk stuff like that up to luck. You got to make your own luck. Today, that really sucks for Alex, having that internet disconnect. And yeah, I've never seen it so instantaneous. 1 second he was there, I literally looked away at my relative, I looked forward, and suddenly the guy I'm behind is gone. So I feel like I had good pace. We were trading back and forth the fastest lap there most of the race, and I always had that little bit extra in the bank. So I think I would have had a good shot to win it today regardless, but would have loved to have a proper battle there because he's such an exceptional driver, and one of these days they're going to have a real barn burner, and one of these days he's going to beat me for it. But yeah, 4 in a row today if you don't include the week I was off. So we're in good form, good rhythm, and it's at a bunch of tracks too that I didn't know how well the Mustang was going to do, and clearly it's got some good pace in it.
Well, I don't know if it's so much the Mustang. I think, obviously your team driving the Mustangs is certainly doing quite well, but I think you could drive a moped around here and do quite well the way you've been going, Marshall.
I appreciate it.
I mean, you're driving backwards faster than I drive forwards, so. Next week, though, we're going, I believe, Agave and at Portimao there. Mustang going to do well there, or what's your predictions? Or is that going to be the week that we finally see you dethroned, and maybe it's going to be his chance finally to get a win in Alex Jacobson?
It's a very real chance for both. Unfortunately with today, just with the results, I think how close the battle is at the top of the championship, he's going to have a hard time fighting back into it. I think with the drop race, he came into today, I think 14 behind me and 6 behind Brock, and today's going to hurt Jacobson, but heck yeah, like that McLaren's going to be bad fast. Portimao's another track. It's got a lot of changes of verticality. It's got a lot of uphill, downhill braking zones. That's the kind of stuff the Mustang doesn't do particularly well in. So, pencil me in for going to do my best and see if we can overcome. But yeah, Brock and Alex are going to be quick. And I just want a good old-fashioned battle all the way through one of these days. We were getting them, felt like every week at the start of the season, and now we've kind of cooled off a little bit, and it feels like it's a breakaway here and there. So just hoping for a good race, hoping to have a lot of fun. And me and the teammates, we got the team battle going down to the wire, and I think we picked up a couple more points today in our chase towards the top. So that team battle, keep an eye on it, because that's going to become the even more important thing. And I think this is going to be the last real tough challenge for the Mustang boys to make our run at the title. But either way, having a ton of fun and enjoying watching them back.
Well, excellent. Well, thanks a lot, Marshall. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just a quick shout out to Alyssa as always for watching, and shout out to the shout out to the Pro-Am class today. Oh my goodness, that second class today, they dominated the pace in practice, dominated most of the race. And I'll give a special shout out to Matt Mars. He does a ton to put this series on as an admin, and gosh darn it, he's going to get that win in the Pro-Ams one of these days. Just every time he's got great pace like he did today, set the fastest lap of the race, there's always one guy out there who randomly has the race of their lives, and today it was Rosario. So you shout out to Matt. He's going to have his win in class one of these days, and as always, thanks to you guys for everything you do. This is my favorite broadcast to watch, even more than the one I do on Thursdays.
Well, of course it is. Just kidding, Marshall. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Have a good one.
That was race winner Marshall Crocker Jr. I'm going to use his verticality line there, Rich. I know he was looking for elevation.
Oh, no. He said that. I thought he's been listening to you. Oh, my God. 2 syllables or less, folks. 2 syllables or less.
I knew exactly what he was looking for. I've had those moments where you're like, what is that damn word? I just can't think of it. But you know what, verticality, that's slick. I'm going to use that. But speaking of slick, let's bring in our second place finisher in Pro Class, 3rd overall, Brock Morris. Brock, rough race last week at Jerez. We're seeing you up towards the front, a little closer to the front here this evening, but you had to work for it. Starting in 7th place, get yourself into a podium, 2nd place in Pro Class. How was the Corvette out there in the rain?
Yeah, it was a tough race overall. It was... I'm not really sure exactly. I don't think the car was the issue. I think the driver was the issue. I was maybe a bit too conservative driving in the rain, which ended up paying off, getting through those first couple spots, just waiting for people to make mistakes. But then just outright pace, man. Just Marshall was on another level. Like, shout out to Marshall. He was next level quick. Every time I looked up to see what our times were, he was about a second or a second and a half faster every single lap. So yeah, just not really sure exactly what I needed as a driver, but the car felt great balance wise. But yeah, just probably a skill issue on my.
That's what I always say. It's a skill issue on my part too, but it just relatively is. But we saw Matt Mars pushing at the end, trying to catch you. He chased you down there. Were you a little worried seeing him in the rearview mirror? Or were you saving something in case he did catch up to you to battle at the last few laps there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was also just super quick tonight, and I know I'm teammates with him in the Sunday Night League here, and he works hard at this stuff, and it's really starting to show. And he was pushing for that class win. It's coming soon if he keeps showing pace like that. And yeah, I was not saving anything. I felt like the pay window was open for points. I, after last week, needed all the help I could get points wise. So I was trying to hang on for dear life, but something happened to him about halfway through the last lap, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, it looked like he just got up on the curbs, high side a little bit, and the little bit of water that was still left on the track just spun him around. But we head to Portimao next week. Brock, how you feeling heading into there? I think you'll still be leading the championship heading in, but it's probably going to get a little bit closer.
I believe when you factor in the drop week, I'm actually a couple points behind after my little incident last week, my off-track excursion. Yeah, another track I got to learn from the ground up, but I am now realizing kind of the situation, like this is going to Barcelona kind of no matter, unless one of us crash. So I am definitely going to be putting in a lot more time here into this series. Learning Portimao, Long Beach has been a great track in the past. Barcelona has been a great track in the past for me. So yeah, going to put a lot of effort into Portimao going into next week, and finally have an open weekend too to sit down and just go do some laps. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Excellent stuff. Well, we expect to see you back up at the sharp end then again next week. But before we let you go here, Brock, give us your shout outs to the millions and millions at home cheering you on.
Absolutely. Might even be billions.
Well, I didn't want to brag too much, but
yeah. Looking at the stream, I mean, we got yeah, but shout out first of all, Kettering University, Kettering Esports. Got a shout out Juicy Spider Studios and the High Side Podcast. Big shout out to FMA for trying something new here with the rain race. I really hope we can do this more in the future. I thought it was a ton of fun. Mixed around the usual running order, apart from Marshall. He's just fast everywhere. So yeah, I really enjoyed it tonight. And of course, thanking you guys in the booth for covering it.
We appreciate that. Best of luck the last few races of the season, Brock. It looks like it's going to come down to the wire, as you mentioned. Take care and best of luck.
All right. Thank you, guys.
So that was second place in Pro-Am. Let's finish out in Pro-Am. In Pro, let's finish out the podium here with Anthony Sorrentino, who finishes up third in class, fifth overall. He's caught up with Richard Swindells.
Tony, a solid race. Congratulations.
Thank you. Surprisingly, I had a 0x for that, which was much needed. So, yeah, just hit my marks, went out there, and just tried to avoid everybody, and paid off.
You and Evan were kind of nose to tail for a lot of the race. I assume there's some team orders at play. I think I saw Evan stick his nose out once or twice, but overall, it didn't look like you. Or were you racing? I'm not sure.
No, when I was behind him, I was kind of protecting him a little bit. When he was behind me, I was kind of doing the same. But after a while, I mean, there was really not much to protect because there was a huge gap between the guys behind us. So, yeah, we just kind of played it easy. We kind of joked around a little bit in the team chat for a while. But no, we weren't going to.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, it was good though. I mean, you're in third place in your division. He's third place in his division. Solid team effort tonight. I guess you couldn't have asked for really much more.
No. I mean, we got Aaron Stevens, who's our amateur driver. He was actually given EOL, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about that. But he got a podium. We got Jay was in. I think he finished 8th, and then Evan was a podium for him too. So I mean, we got solid effort. We needed the points. Yeah, it was good. It was a good race.
Yeah, it was exciting to watch too, and we really enjoyed seeing how you guys did in the rain, and you did well. So next week we're at Portimao. Have you done much racing there?
A little bit. It's been a minute. I think I did a couple GT4 races there, so I'll be finally get up to speed and look forward to being out there again.
Well, congratulations. Anybody you'd like to say thanks or give a shout out to tonight?
Just want to give a shout out to the Warp guys. Great effort, great teamwork, great communication, great job on the strategy, way to execute, and look forward to next week.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you. Maybe we'll talk to you again then.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you.
It was third place in Pro. Tony Sorrentino. Looks like we got our Pro-Am winner, Fernando Rosario, in here. Fernando, second place overall, top spot in Pro-Am. You came in this one looking good in the points championship. How you feeling exiting at a Silverstone with a win?
I'm feeling surprised right now. I didn't get much practice, so I'm actually surprised.
Well, it looked like it. The little bit of practice you did get seemed to work to your advantage here in the Porsche. Do you think you had a little bit of an advantage with the Porsche? It always seems to be strong in the rain with the engine over the rear axle here. It looks like a lot of the Porsche drivers were really strong here this evening.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to my teammate. He's the one who told me to drive this car. So this win is for him.
That's what teammates are for, to give you that little bit of expert advice when you need it. But we head to Portimao next week, a track that should play well for the Porsche too as well. It's got a lot of twisties, a lot of elevation changes. That's where the Porsche really excels, the quick, fast corners, diving the nose in there and powering out of the corner. How are you feeling about heading into Circuit del Algarve next week?
I haven't tried that track yet, so I got to do some practicing and see which car suits me best.
Well, you may need to have a chat with Brock Morris too as well. He said he needs to practice and learn that track too as well. So maybe the two of you can work together to get yourself back up in the podium in your respective classes again. But you know what? You already mentioned that. Hats off to your teammate for suggesting the Porsche. You're going to leave it up in the air what you're going to drive next week. But 9 races into the season, how are you feeling about your chances of bringing home the championship in Pro-Am?
Pretty good, as long as I keep doing what I've been doing. So pretty good.
It's been working for you for this point. Before we let you go here, Fernando, any shout outs you want to give to anybody watching at home cheering you on?
Yeah, shout out to my team.
And that's FR Racing, correct? Fernando Rosario Racing, I'm assuming that stands for?
No, it's a secret.
Oh. Even better. Well, best of luck next week, Fernando. Get out there, put those laps in, learn Portimao. It's a great track. I think you'll love it, and hopefully we see you up at the top of class again going forward for the rest of the season. Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye.
That was a race winner in Pro-Am, Fernando Rosario. Let's bring in
Give me him.
Let's bring in one of the admins, the fastest guy the last handful of laps on track. Couldn't quite get that final overall podium position. Comes home second in class. He's caught up with Richard Swindells.
Matt, your best lap time. You had the best lap time of the race. You got 4th overall, second in class. I mean, your best lap time was over a second faster than the next guys. How'd you do it?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I did 4 practice races this week, just putting together, trying to get our rain scheduling, how it would, I wanted a perfect race.
Rob, I was right.
So I practiced the living fire out of it. Wife and kids went to bed, and I was up till 2 a.m. every night running races. And I honestly, I'm kicking myself. I pulled my patented pulling a mat, as we call it. I spun out twice. I had
we saw
snatched defeat out of the jaws of victory here tonight, but can't complain too much when you come home second place.
Yeah, I mean, you had those 2 spin outs, and then you really tried that move on Brock at the end, and that didn't quite work out. But, or you know what I mean, and
yeah.
But you kept coming back. Like, we thought you were down and out, and kind of down and out in Beverly Hills here, and you fought back and catching Brock Morris. I mean, when you're fighting back from that far down and catching him. It really shows your pace tonight. Hey,
yeah,
we got a cheerleader in the lap.
Yeah, I got my daughter here, Nora. She's waved to the camera, baby. She's gonna be shy now. There she is. Yeah. I was telling Chase and Ryan in the chat. I said, guys, not to jinx it here, but I'm catching Brock. Like, what in the world's going on here? It was kind of surreal, honestly. And yeah, like I said, it was kind of frustrating, but in a sense, though, man, I had it coming, I guess. It's my 3rd podium now this season, and never gotten one in the previous 115 races in the league. So I'm very tickled with it.
Hey, hi there. And you know what I said? I said to when you cut that curb, which you can't do in the arena, as you know, and you spun it around, I said, if you'd had that extra weight of the peanut butter eggs, I think that would have kept the car down on track. But man, oh man, exciting to watch. Great to see your progress. Great to see what you've been doing for this league. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight, Matt?
Well, yeah, of course. I want to thank you guys for a great broadcast as usual, and all of our league members and that make this such a great place to race, and also all our donors that help to fund this. As everybody knows, we're a free league, so we run solely on donations and goodwill of the members. And yeah, and of course my wife and kids for putting up with this. This is it's a pretty expensive and pretty time-consuming hobby. So I've got a great wife and kids that they're really understanding for the most part. Every now and then you'll catch some dirty looks and some, you're going to race again tonight. But yeah, I'm thankful to them, and thankful to you guys. So,
well, I think all of FMA is thankful for all the work you've done to help make this league what it is. So, and we certainly thank you for bringing us on board. So that all said, we'll see you next week, and we want to see what you got in store for us at Portimao. I really want to see you get yourself a victory. I think you're about due now.
Man, I hope so. We're gonna be able to put a little more practice in, I think, similar to this week for this one. So yeah, I gotta back it up. Gotta go back to back here. So we'll hopefully talk to you guys again next week.
Okay, well, let's hope so, Matt. Congratulations once again, and we will see you in 1 week's time.
Thank you, buddy. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
That was second place in Pro-Am, Matt Mars. Let's round out the podium in Pro-Am here with Evan Guimet. Evan, you started just outside the top 10 in 12th place, got yourself up into the final step on the podium in Pro-Am class. We saw you and your teammate Anthony Sorrentino basically nose to tail for the back half of the race. Were you guys just kind of sticking together, trying to make your way to the end of the race, trying to avoid any kind of incidents out there?
Yeah, we didn't want to battle each other and risk double podium, or triple podium, I guess, for Warped. Pretty cool for the team. And it was a really good race. I had this one circled on the schedule for rain, because I like the rain a lot, so glad I could perform well.
It showed tonight that you definitely are a fan of the rain. We're going to head to Portimao next week, a track where that long straight should work well for the Mustang. Is it a track you're familiar with at all?
I've done a couple laps there. Not my personal favorite track, but I'll see what I could do. It's just hard to beat some of these guys in here. I have a bunch of GT3 experience.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of weeks things have gotten shaken up a little bit at the top of the standing. We see some drivers that maybe were struggling a little early on, finding that pace towards the back half of the season. You're one of those drivers. We'll see if you can continue it forward. But you know what? How's the team bonding going with the Warped Esports? Seems like anytime we talk to Anthony, or if it's Jay that's in the booth here, any of you guys, you all seem like very happy. Seems like you're working together, trying to get as much pace as you can week in, week out.
Yeah, we work together. is a team. So if one guy needs help, we go back and give him strategy, or someone's obviously faster, we'll let him by on track. There's no point in holding him up. So we're all in it together.
Excellent stuff. That's what we like to hear. The team strategy come into play. Before we let you go here, Evan, anybody you want to give a shout out to that's cheering you on, rooting the best for you?
Yeah, I just want to thank Hometown Garage, sponsor of mine, Warped, for tagging me along in this series. FMA for putting on the series. It's a great series. It's amazing to see how far it's come, and thank you guys for broadcasting.
Excellent stuff. We appreciate that, Evan. Best of luck the final 3 rounds of the season. Hopefully we see you battling up at the top end of the field again. Take care.
Yep, thank you.
It's going to round out the Pro-Am side of things. Rich, let's bring in one of our newest drivers to the GT3 side of things, Sasha Hendrick, who took home the win in AM class. Catch up with Richard Swindells.
Hey, congratulations. A solid effort tonight. Last week you had a great race as well. We kind of missed you in the broadcast booth. But a race victory, and in the rain at Silverstone. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, it started a little rough. Sorry about the last week. My microphone was broken, so I had to find a replacement for this week. So here we are now. Yeah, the race started rough. I had a little fight with the system, with the quali. I didn't even get to set the time, so started 25th, and then it was a recovery drive from there.
Well, that's a heck of a recovery drive. 18 positions, and they weren't all freebies. You had to earn a bunch of them. The Porsche seemed to handle really, really well compared to some of the other cars out here. You must have had a lot of practice in the rain, I think, to put on that performance. Did you do a lot of practice this week?
My second love is the Assetto Corsa rally, so I do a lot of rallying, and I had to channel a lot of it here with power slides and drifts.
Keeping off the curbs. Next week we're going to go off to Portimao. Have you done much racing there?
In iRacing, no. I've played it in Le Mans Ultimate, so I'm going to have to get to the drawing board and get prepared for that. But for now, focus is on the GTPs, and hopefully I'll see you guys next week. It's going to be a good race.
Well, that sounds good, Sasha. Anybody you'd like to give thanks or shout out to tonight?
I would like to give a shout out to you guys for awesome broadcast. Usually when we finish, I just watch it all, and you guys are awesome. Also, all of the guys over at the FMA. I stumbled upon them about 2 weeks ago, and it's just a great group of guys. Big range of skills, so there's something for everybody, and I really enjoy these races.
Well, we're very happy that you found them, and we get to see what you can do on the track, and looking forward to seeing you next week. And we really appreciate you putting up the webcam so the people at home get to see what you're experiencing. So congratulations, Sasha. We will see you next week at Portimao.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Was race winner in AM class, Sasha Hendrick. And looks like we don't have second place Broughton Jones, but we do have Aaron Siebens to round out our interviews here this evening. Aaron, get yourself up into final step on the podium in AM class. Your Warped Esports teammates got themselves up into podium in their classes too as well. So it looked like overall very strong day for the Warped team.
Yeah, I believe all 4 of us finished in the top 5 in our classes, so that's good. Yeah, I had a rough day. I started all the way at the end. I had a EOL and just worked my way back up. I think I finished 14th overall. So.
How comfortable were you in the rain? Have you done much rain racing at all?
I raced in a different league before this and had some success. And the rain, we raced a lot of rain races, so I'm pretty comfortable in the rain. Actually, when I saw it was going to rain, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, the Porsche generally a strong car in the rain, but it's also a strong car in the twisties, and that's where we're heading next week at Portimao with a lot of elevation changes, some blind corners, a lot of fast twisty corners. You feeling comfortable heading in there?
Yeah, we should do good. We'll see what happens.
Well, before we let you go, you've kind of had a great showing here tonight. Got yourself on the podium. How you feeling about the final 3 races? Think you're going to have me out to charge in the AM class? I know Dustin Wallace has a pretty firm lead in AM right now, but he had a rough race here tonight, so there's some points to be made up. Still 3 races to go. Anything knows when that drop week's factored in, but how you feeling about your chances?
Yeah, I mean, just try my best. See where we can finish. I mean, I'll be here for all 3 races. I had a couple races I had to miss throughout the season, so. But yeah.
Well, best of luck heading into the final 3 races of the season here, Aaron. And anybody want to give a shout out to watching at home, or teammates, or the millions and millions of fans cheering you on?
Just I do have some friends that watch me off of my Facebook, and my friends and family, and my teammates off of Warped Esports. It's been a pretty fun time with those guys.
Yeah, excellent race for the Warped Esports teams. Hopefully you guys can finish up the rest of the season strong. Keep those podiums coming. But until next week, take care, Aaron, and hopefully we see you back on a podium again next week at Portimao.
All right, I'll try my best.
Have a good one. Well, Rich, that's going to wrap it up here for interviews at Silverstone. It was a race that started out wet. You know what? The rain kind of went away for a little bit. The sun came out, then the rain came back for a little bit. Started to dry out. We saw some drivers, some challenging conditions all throughout the race, really struggling. Some drivers, you know, seem to be a little more adept to the rain. Some drivers probably not wanting to see rain again anytime soon. But how do you think Silverstone went here this evening? Oh, it looks like we've lost Richard Swindells. So I'll take it from here.
Sorry, Rob. I'm here. It was awesome, Rob. And we even had some drivers try some dry tires. Go figure. It was a lot of fun.
It absolutely was. We head to one of my favorite tracks, as I mentioned off the hop early on, that Portimao. So looking for a great race there next week. But you know what? That's going to pretty much do it for us here for Racers Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. For Richard Swindells in the booth with me. Again, the guy who's caught every single FMA GT3 race on Racers Nexus here. He's got 3 more to go to wrap up this season. Can he do it? Place your bets. It's coming out on Bet365 now, whether Richard Swindells can make it to the end. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week at Portimao for round 10. Final 3 races. Drop points starting to play a factor. We'll see who's able to take top spot. Until then, bye for now.